Hey guys, CreamCrazy here. Welcome to my Friday flashback review of Wrestlemania 10. 2 weeks delayed, and again, a lot of shit came up in those 2 weeks where I couldn't avoid it. This time, however, there are no delays. This should be a decent review. Now guys, I will tell you now, my views on this pay-per-view have not changed one single bit since I reviewed it nearly 2.5 weeks ago. I will say you now, I don't understand why this event is widely hyped, because despite 2 good matches, very good matches, I should say, this event was pure shit. And if you look at my ratings down in the description box before hearing everything out, you will see my point. I did not enjoy this pay-per-view at all. And it's been a long time since I last watched it, but even back then, I could tell this was a shit pay-per-view, nearly from top to bottom. Because again, this is the 10th anniversary of WrestleMania. You'd expect something good. Let's hope. Something caught my eye when looking at this card, though. Just go for some little things before we get on to the matches. 6 of the 8 matches had managers in them. Fucking hell yes. Times have definitely changed from then. 2 brilliant wrestlers like Roddy Piper and Mr. Perfect were guest refs. Shows that WWE were lacking on talent if they couldn't stick these guys on the card. Honestly, they couldn't find spots for 2 great wrestlers when everyone else could find a space. How annoying is that? Vince McMahon was a great, decent commentator back then. He sold the story of the matches well. And to be honest with you, I couldn't believe this. Jerry the King Lawler was commentating it here at this event. Fucking hell, he's been at WWE way longer than I thought he was commentating. Fucking hell. And the start of the event felt more like a boxing event in terms of feel rather than a wrestling event. Honestly, watch it back, you'll see my point. Right, first off, getting to the greatest opening match in WrestleMania history, bar none, in my honest opinion, based on what I've reviewed. Owen Hart defeats Bret Hart in I'll tell you, like I've already said just now, a brilliant match. And I'll tell you, the promo for this match is very different to what you'd usually expect from nowadays. Obviously, I had a voice narration over it, simplistic clips put together in a montage. It was very simple. Not like the great editing techniques, dramatic scores, and epic stuff that make up today's promos and vignettes before the big matches. Anyway, I'll tell you now, this one's got a lot to get through. So, and I must also warn you, this is not like my No Way Out review, because that was done really quickly. This one is a full-blown recap review. Let's hope you enjoy this. I'll get a good idea of which review style you like from me best. Anyway, Owen talks up after a tie-up in the middle. Fireman carry into a head scissors on the mat by Bret. Owen gets thrown out of the ring from the waistlock, quickly gets back in and slaps Bret in the face. Gah! Elbow tie-up reversed by Bret. Owen reverses into an arm lock. Sorry. Bret then does the same. Owen reverses with a tie-up with flips into the turnbuckle. Bret rolls up. Bret rolls up Owen for 2. Now how I got that wrong, Lord knows. King is ripping into Owen Hart and just about everybody at this point. Good God, I was actually really shocked how bully-like King was in this pay-per-view. He was doing a good heel commentator's job, ripping into just about everybody around him. The crowd, other wrestlers, people who weren't even involved. It was mental. God. Leapfrog into a monkey flip by Bret, knocked Owen to the outside. Owen tries to escape, but is thrown straight back in. Bret slaps Owen, rolls up for 2. Pressure then reapplied to the arm by Bret. Crucifix takedown pin for 2. Arm is then reapplied and locked soon afterwards. Windmill kick by Owen takes Bret down and kicks him out of the ring and slams him into the steel post. Backbreaker by Owen, followed by a camel clutch. Bret fights out with elbows, whip followed by a nice belly-to-belly suplex by Owen for 2. Whip into the corner, springboard body splash for 2. Owen rams the knees into the back before reapplying the chin lock, putting pressure on the back. Owen scoops up Bret. Bret falls down for 2. Suplex off the apron, counted and... Oh, fuck it. I'm losing my track here. This is my first review in a small while, so you can understand why I'm losing my track. Suplex off the aprons then countered. Owen hits a German suplex for 2. Leg drop to the back of the head, covers for 2. Suplex attempt by Owen, countered into a small package by Bret for 2. Owen then counters a tilt to the world off the Irish whip into a tombstone pile driver. Still, at that time, you could do anyone will do that move. Owen goes to the top rope, misses the headbutt. He would have won if he'd hit that for sure, I bet. Inverted atomic drop by Bret and a clothesline for 2. Russian leg sweep for 2. Backbreaker by Bret, knee drop from the top rope for 2. And Zaguri out of the corner by Owen. Owen tries to lock in the sharpshooter. Bret reverses it into one of his own, but Owen still counters it. Multiple roll-ups ensue for 2. Bret flies over the top rope onto Owen, but Bret seems to have blown his knee out. Well, that's what it looks like, that's what the commentators are inferring to anyway. Owen kicks the knee repeatedly, stretches, and swings it back and forth. Owen then slams the leg into the ring post. Fucking hell, this guy's going all out. Bret limps and Owen mocks him for doing it. Whip and leg drop for the... Whip and leg drop to the leg, followed by a modified leg lock by Owen. Hold is then released for the knees to the leg. Owen then wraps it in a figure 4 leg lock. Woo! Gotta keep doing that every time a figure 4 is ever done. Bret reverses the hold, but Owen gets to the ropes. The leg has been masterfully targeted. Fantastic selling by Bret. Awesome stuff. Bret then hits the enziguri, whips Owen into the turnbuckle with authority and hits a leg drop for 2. Vicious bulldog by Bret, again covers for 2. Owen is still in this, just. Spike piledriver by hit by Bret, covers and somehow gets 2. God knows. Owen is placed on the top rope, Bret goes up and hits the superplex. Bret covers, still getting 2. Vince nearly had a heart attack at ringside. Super hold applied by Bret, Owen hits a low blow, but the ref did not see it. See, nowadays, if that had happened, the ref would have said, "I seen it, ring the bell," that would be the end of it. Owen lines up, locks in the sharpshooter. After being locked in for quite a while, Bret breaks it. Tries to lock in one of his own, but Owen gets the ropes. Bret then gets into electric chair position on top of Owen, ready for the victory roll. But then, Owen reverses it. Covers for the 3! And, to be honest with you, King is going mental. To be honest with you, I can understand entirely why King would go mental, because it was a great match. I will say this. What a physical and exhausting technical contest this was. There's back and forth momentum changes, many near falls, and fantastic psychology, that leg being targeted. Brilliant. I can't believe, actually, that Owen managed to win, despite having a lot of the advantage going through it all. Even after knowing for all these years, I still can't believe it. It was fun to watch throughout, and the commentary added to the drama of this match incredibly. Ladies and gentlemen, WWE, this is how you build a good feud. It took months to get to this point, and you sold it to a T. Learn from this. At times, this match was a little slow when the storyline aspect and the sports entertainment dramatics kicked in over the wrestling, but that wasn't to take away from this match at all. I can see why this gets the acclaim it does. It might have devalued itself by being the opener, but it does not stop from being a near classic. Because you're not going to get this? 4 3/4 stars. Yeah, 4 3/4 stars. I was really thinking of giving this a 5. I really was going to give this a 5, but the slow pacing of the match at times really didn't help it. I'll tell you now, this match was mostly all guns blazing apart from some bits. I found the match lasted, actually, in my opinion, a little too long. But then again, that is just me nitpicking. But that's where it gets the rating from, eh? Bam Bam Bigelow and Vachon defeated Doink and Dink the Clown in a mixed tag match. Doink and Dink somehow got a pop. Yeah, they were popular at this time, weren't they? I mean, obviously, this is after Doink had obviously turned face. He was heel for most of the 93. God, how do I remember that without watching it? I have no idea. Then again, I've read my stuff. And I can tell you now, if that started today, if these clowns had got a cheer, if these clowns, had done their gimmick beginning today, they would have got booed out of the building. I still can't believe it worked. Can someone please tell me how a clown managed to work? I don't know. It just blows my mind. Somehow I got a review out of this match. Bam Bam waxed Doink with a shoulder takedowns and a drop kick to kick the match off. Big Black Body Splash misses twice to give Doink the advantage. Dink is tagged in, meaning Luna Vachon has to enter. Midget versus woman! Oh, God. I still can't believe they had to put midget versus woman. So even back then, they didn't give a shit about the divas, or the women, whatever the fuck they were called. Oh, yeah, because the divas weren't really called divas until Sunny came along 2 years later. Luna then slapped on the ass. She retaliates by pushing Dink on the ropes and leaping on him, almost taking his head off, which I laughed at. Luna missed the second leap. Dink covers for 2. Dink runs around and then eats kitchen sink. Luna misses the elbow, allowing Dink to get to the top rope for the axe handle. Luna then moves out quickly to avoid it. Mr. McMahon said Dink is a powerhouse in his own right. It's stupid, I know. It is fucking stupid. Oh, I lolled immensely at this, tell you now, ladies and gentlemen. Luna misses the big splash from the top. Dink tags in Doink. Doink hits a fist on Bam Bam, but he gets clotheslined out of the ring straight away. Should I say Bam Bam or Bam from now on? So he hasn't got long to go. And Luna flies after Dink, but both miss. Doink then fails the sunset flip. He fails to sunset flip Bam Bam, and he gets landed on. Doink counters with a slam with the DDT. Goes to the top, misses the leg drop. He landed fucking hard, I'll tell you now. He was selling that ass like no one ever could. Dink is then hit off the apron or a whip by Bam Bam, and Bigelow then hits a shoulder tackle for 2. Bigelow goes to the top, hits the headbutt for the 3. Now, I never thought this match would have anything to offer. And despite Doink being Doink generally, and knowing these clowns were fucking stupid in terms of their gimmick overruled everything, it was still pretty funny. Just to laugh at, just to watch. But despite that and a few good DDT counters, fucking awesome kitchen sink, I'll give this a quarter of a star for the laughter and for some little cool moves, including that DDT counter by Doink. That was bloody good, I'll tell you that for sure. I was going to give this a 0 at one point, but you know what? Little things like laughter make me feel happy. Hey, laughter didn't save me from giving Laurinaitis Cena a 0, but happens, doesn't it? Soon after the match ended, the shot to the crowd is given out, where the Hail to the Chief then shows Clinton in the crowd. Now, I actually, to be honest, fell for it to begin with. I realised later from a few different close-up angles it was an impersonator, but I will say, that was a convincing impersonation for the most part. If it fools me twice, then that's definitely sure. It fooled me once, then again later on, then I kind of realised it was an impersonator. I had to do some reading up while the match was on to prove it was an impersonator, and my eyes weren't deceiving me. They were that corny back then to stick an impersonator in. It's stupid. Randy Savage defeated Crush with Mr. Fuji in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and to be honest, Savage was over as shit, so even in 1994 he had a huge pop going. Savage ran right at Crush in the aisleway to start the match. Crush hit the Tutuo and military press slam to Savage on the barricade. He covers for 3. Now, I thought that was over. However, apparently, Savage had to get back in the ring within 60 seconds or he'd lose the match completely. Now, that obviously isn't what I've grown up on in Falls Count Anywhere matches. I have not watched many matches from this period, therefore you can understand my bemusement at wondering, fucking hell, why is there a stupid thing like this going on? Stupid. Mr. Fuji then hits Savage with his flag, but Savage gets in with 2 seconds left. Finkel, you are awesome. Crush then ties Savage in the corner and gets the Salt. Savage then gets in an eye poke. Obscured by Salt anyway, he hits the elbow to the head from the top rope. Scoop slam followed by the elbow drop again. Savage then drags Crush, pushes him to the outside, covers for 3. I feel they have to get falls outside the ring, which is a pretty stupid idea. Savage then won the fall with Crush having a minute to get back in. Honestly, okay, I'll say this right now. Can anyone confirm to me, on paper, what these rules are? Because they were confusing me 2.5 weeks ago, they're confusing me reading them back. Honestly, it pissed me off. Fuji drops water onto Crush to get him up. Crush gets back into the ring again. 2 seconds left. Crush then back body drops Savage to the outside. Savage rams the head of Crush into the post and the steps before clotheslining him into the crowd. Super kick by Crush, power driver counter to a back body drop to the concrete. Savage rams Crush through the doors to the back. Covers for 3 before tying Crush's foot into a pulley system on a steel frame. Smarts there, Savage. Therefore, Crush can't get back to the ring within 60 seconds, and Savage wins. Now, the rules were different, but it gave a slightly awesome edge to this match. I didn't expect it, and it made it slightly exciting, wondering who could get the advantage where. Despite that, though, it was a bit rushed, and it felt like it was going to end sooner than it could have. It did perk up a little bit with Savage winning in a unique way. Despite that, it was very poor. It kept my attention, and that body drop power driver counter was fantastic. But I would have rather seen Savage win a match with Piper or Perfect. Wouldn't have you rather seen that, folks? Because I would have, definitely. You know what? It was fun while it was there. I won't completely slate it. We reviewed it and just thought I'll give it half a star. I was never quarter, but this had that. It was good. It kept me interested. Had some decent moves, and well, the rules being there just kept it going for me. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. It was quite short as well, so I could have docked it a bit for that, but I'm not going to be that cruel. It's Savage after all. My throat's hurting, and I haven't got any water, so bear with me if I stop. Alundra Blayze. I don't know how I've accidentally pronounced this wrong over the best part of the year with Blayze. God knows how I've pronounced that wrong. Defeats Leilani Kai to retain the WWF Women's Championship. And again, I'm using WWF because I'm being that technically correct. A sunset flip powerbomb by Blayze for 2, double arm chokeslam by Kai, a scoop slam cover by Kai also was quite cool, Hurricane Rana cover for 2 by Blayze, a butterfly suplex by Kai got 2, and a German suplex cover got 3 for Blayze. Now, that seems really quick, but not much happened. To tell you now, that is all that happened. A lot of covers with some decent moves. Now, if I was going to be anyone at this point, I would give that a decent rating. I mean, even back then, the divas, or women, whoever you would probably call, I said women, don't I? The women still sucked. No wonder Blayze was complaining about the lack of talent. That was shit, wasn't it? Because apparently Leilani Kai was in the first WrestleMania 10 years before. She looked fugly for a start. Nonetheless, on re-examination, I'll give it half a star for those great moves and great pinfall attempts. Actually made this slightly exciting. Very barely, may I add. Very barely. Because that was, for the most part, horseshit apart from that perspective. So half a star I'll give it. The Quebecers, with Johnny Polo in their corner, defeated Men on a Mission to retain the WWF Tag Team Championships by countout. Okay, let me just tell you this first. After Men on a Mission came out, Shawn Michaels was with this woman from a USA TV show called Rhonda Shears, ready for a photo opportunity, but then Burt Reynolds steals her away from HBK. I was wanting HBK to super kick Reynolds so much, because honestly, that would have been a WrestleMania moment right there. That would have been ponage, honestly. It just didn't happen, and that disappointed me. I got my hopes up for Burt Reynolds getting super kicked. Didn't happen. Shocking. Also, interesting fact here. Did you know that Johnny Polo, the manager of the Quebecers, is the man we know today as Raven? But if you didn't know that, that's a fact for you. Impressive. Interesting, really. Right. Now on to the match itself. A drop toe hold and a leg drop by Mabel. Double elbow by Men on the Mission. King then dropped a pipe bomb. A pipe bomb on a put down on Mabel, saying that when he was born, Mabel had to be baptized at SeaWorld. And that got the biggest laugh from me. That was fucking awesome. And that's why I miss the heel king who would rip on anyone, because that kind of thing is awesome. So don't get me wrong, that's what you call a put down. Anyway, back body drop flipped by the Quebecers for 2. Jacques back body drops Pierre onto Mo on the outside, which is a lovely move. Hardly see people taking risks like that nowadays. Double flat jump on the ropes by the Quebecers. Mo hits a somersault drop kick to Pierre. Bloody hell. It's gotta hurt. It looked like it hurt, I'll tell you that for sure. Jacques then misses the leg drop, clutching his ass like no tomorrow. Again, another one who sells the arse pain. Great selling. The Quebecers try to double suplex Mabel, but fail. Try again, though, and they succeed. There's a message to you kids out there. If you fail once, just try again, you'll do well. Hey, I failed one of my politics modules. I got an E on one of my politics modules. I thought I was a failure. Retook it, got a C. Again, the message works out well. Polo then screams, "Yes! Yes! Yes!" Wow, even Raven was ahead of the times by about nearly 20 years. Awesome! Double top rope flip by the Quebecers got on there for 2. spinning wheel kick by Mabel. Yet this is a 500-pound guy doing a wheel kick. Fuck! Honestly, how the hell does a guy manage to pull that off? Where am I? Mo then pushes Mabel onto Jacques on the outside. Polo distracts the ref. The fall then doesn't happen because he got 1, 2, 3. Didn't happen. Pierre is then hit by Mabel and Mo on the outside. Polo drags Jacques out of the ring and they get counted out. The Quebecers are still the champions. Now, this was a bit slow at times, and I found it hard to get into, but when the double team moves were in, it was great. I liked that. I love the fact that these two teams, 1, had matching attires, 2, had a lot of great double teams, and both had managers in their corners. It was good. Good for that respect. However, it was slow, it was short, slow, and had a count-out finish, which on a pay-per-view, you do not want to see. However, in ring, it was pretty good. I'll be nice. 3/4 of a star, because there was very little psychology in this, and you need it. Definitely. Right. Next match. Oh, it could have been 1 if not for the finish. I put that down here. I should remember to mention that. Oh, sorry about that. The breaded chicken's coming back to haunt me. Yokozuna with Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji defeated the Narcissist, or Mr. America, or whatever the fuck his gimmick was at that time. Lex Luger with Mr. Perfect as the special guest referee to retain the World Wrestling Federation Championship by disqualification. I don't want to reveal my rating just yet, and you know it by looking down in the description box down there. I liked the guest in-ring announcer for this. I don't know who the guy was, but I liked his in-ring announcing style. It was good. Also, again, Vince McMahon did a yes, yes, yes remark when Luger came out, I think. I don't remember. Massive clothesline by Yokozuna off the bell. Elbow drop missed. Luger whacked Yokozuna right on the button and out of the ring, and then hit a double axe off the apron. Luger whacks Yokozuna's head into the steps, rolls him back in for a cover for 2. Elbow drop for 2. Clothesline missed by Luger. Goes for the scoop slam, obviously, because if you know your history, Luger's the first man, and probably the only man, to scoop slam Yokozuna. And then, of course, Yokozuna falls on him for 2. King criticised Mr. Perfect's count as the slowest in history. Again, good stuff. Yokozuna then takes a turnbuckle pad off. And then, there is a long period of time where Yokozuna is pressing his hand into Luger's neck. Literally, that is all that happens for so long. So long. I'm bored out of my arse as Luger tries to fight his way out of the shittest vice grip that there's ever been. You think Carly's is shit? Look at this, because this is 100 degrees grade A bullshit. Honestly. He gets out of it. Luger then ducks past 2 clotheslines and runs into Yokozuna at full pelt. Yokozuna hammers the neck with the arms before reapplying the shit vice hold again. Luger is then thrown to the outside, rolls back in, and Yokozuna goes right back to the vice hold. And honestly, I'm sitting here, and it's the same thing again. It's boring as fuck. Luger then rams Yokozuna's head into the exposed turnbuckle. Luger slams Yokozuna and hits the forearm, flips Cornette into the ring, and whacks Fuji down. Luger then covers. Mr. Perfect then decides to get both Fuji and Cornette out of the ring before counting the fall. Luger gets in Mr. Perfect's face. Perfect calls for the bell, and Luger has been DQ'd. It's just me, though. Are fans chanting Luger, or they're chanting bullshit? Because I think they may have dubbed it over at the end of in the editing process. Luger and Hennig then argue backstage as the staff hold them back. Now, this match was 14.5 minutes. 14.5 minutes. One of the longest matches I've ever had the dissatisfaction to witness. It was one of the most boring things I have ever seen in professional wrestling. Yokozuna wasn't ever over as champion or being a decent wrestler, and it showed right here. Honestly, despite all this though, Yokozuna does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I will never deny that. Yokozuna limited Luger, and this match gave me literally nothing to talk about. If I ever, everybody, needed the definition, okay, sure, you could say he kept going back to the neck, a little bit of psychology and going after a body part. Luger no-sold anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This gets an automatic 0. If I had to give any match a 0, it will be this one. This is the Zero-dom. This is the bottom of the barrel. Literally the bottom. I don't know how Dave Meltzer didn't give it a dud. I think he may have given it. I think he did. I think he gave it a dud. He should have given it way, way lower than that. If I had a minus scale, I'd put this in a minus scale. This was piss poor. However, you thought the shit couldn't get any more worse than that? We get this match. Earthquake defeating Adam Bomb with Harvey Whippleman in his corner. Whippleman is then pushed by Finkel after some derogatory remarks, which the crowd loves. Bomb gets his hands on Finkel, but Earthquake makes the save. The match starts as quickly as that. Power slam by Earthquake and a splash by Earthquake get the win. A simple, short, and extremely stupid squash match. 0. That is a motherfucking 0 right there. Seriously. Honestly, that's poor. To put it that way. And then we get on to the other most talked about match of the night. When Razor Ramon defeated the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels with Diesel in his corner briefly in a ladder match, the first ever televised ladder match to become the undisputed WWF Intercontinental Champion. I have to say, going into this match, because I haven't seen it in full for the first time in a while, I had a lot of expectations on my chest. Let's see if those expectations turn to riches. Hip toss by Razor got blocked. Razor then hits a high slam. Neckbreaker by HBK. Razor is then thrown to the outside. Diesel whacks Ramon with a clothesline. Hebner is pissed and he throws Diesel out of there. Massive uppercut by Ramon's HBK in the ring. HBK is whipped into the top rope and gets clotheslined to the outside. Ramon then rips the padding off the floor, puts HBK in the ring before it's used though. I was a bit worried. Massive punch. I'll tell you this now. Massive punch by Razor. It was a fucking huge punch. The guy is a good... No matter how meh Scott Hall was, he was a good striker. Sets up the Razor's edge for HBK. Michaels then back body drops Razor onto the concrete on the outside. HBK goes to the ladder, gets whacked by Razor. By Razor, yeah. Razor then has the ladder, but gets his baseball slid into his ribs. Michaels then rams the ladder right into the ribs, before inverting it and slamming it into the ribs and back. Michaels then gets thrown onto the... I'm lost here, my eyes are going... where am I? Oh, where am I? Fuck it. Okay, Michaels throws it onto the back of Ramon, sets it up and climbs it. The first ever climb in a televised ladder match is underway. Razor grabs the ankle and pulls HBK's tights down, exposing his bare ass, before HBK slams the elbow into Ramon. Now, if that had ever been done today, it would have automatically been censored. Seriously. That was unexpected. They never talk about that in the recap now, do they? God, no. Oh, am I? Scoop slam by HBK goes to the top rope and the ladder, hitting the iconic splash from the top. Michaels then climbs up to get the belts, but Razor pushes the ladder. Michaels goes head first into the top rope. Both men are up and run head first into each other. Great Wile E. Coyote camera shot of both men down with the belts hanging is fantastic. Production values again, pretty good for the time, actually, I've got to say. Michaels puts the ladder into the corner. Irish whip counters. Michaels flies into the ladder. Ramon takes the ladder outside and rams it into Michaels and then puts Michaels into two ring posts. Ramon puts the ladder back up against the apron and catapults Michaels into it. Ramon and HBK are then back in the ring. Ramon whacks the ladder around the jaw of Michaels, and fucking hell, that looked painful. Ramon is alone in the ring, sets up the ladder, but he doesn't get far before Michaels hits a double axe to get Ramon off. Both men are climbing the ladder at the same time. Both punch at the top. Ramon then scoop slams Michaels off, but he loses his balance and falls, bending the ladder. Razor is moments away from winning. Michaels then drop kicks him off the ladder, and Razor falls off. I don't know why I just said falling off twice there. Michaels then pushes the ladder into Razor, picks him up, hits the switching music, as we'd expect. Michaels is then looked to go for the Razor's edge of his own, but hits a nice spike pile driver instead. McMahon and King didn't see that coming, and neither did I. Michaels then grabs the ladder, goes to the top rope, falling onto the ladder, pushing the ladder with him right onto Razor. I've lost now. Fuck, I've lost again. Shit. Okay, Michaels puts the ladder on top of Razor, climbs up to get the belts. Razor then pushes Michaels off to the top rope. HBK's leg is trapped in the ropes. Razor then climbs, grabs the belt as Michaels frees himself. Razor Ramon, the undisputed WWF Intercontinental Champion. Right. Now, while I can see this match getting a lot of acclaim for being boundary defining at the time and pushing it, when looking back at it, the shock value of its time as well as the crowd reaction makes it a good match. However, this is not a 5-star classic, everybody. Not in my opinion, anyway. The psychology of HBK working the back and the rims of the ladder were no sold by Ramon for quite a while. And while there were ladder moments aplenty, I felt this needs to go on for at least 5 more minutes to have fully shown what this match was capable of when the ladder was not the prime focus, knowing that Hall and Michaels are both great performers. This was the problem in an entertaining match with many great ladder spots and many momentum shifts and equal offense by both men. So the only problem was the length of it, lack of selling and psychology, and, yeah, I just felt they needed a bit extra to push it further. Then again, it was still a great match. Very entertaining match that made me smile. And knowing that what the extent of what ladder matches have become today, it's a good thing that the main thing that got this whole thing started made me feel happy. And I'll give it 4 stars, everybody. 4 sparkling stars for that match. Yeah, pretty cool. Then, I'm just clearing my throat here, we're going to get to the main event, as Todd Grisham used to say. Bret Hart defeats Yokozuna with Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji in his corner with Roddy Piper as a special guest referee to win the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Yokozuna goes right after Bret before Reynolds gets out of the ring announcing them. Yes, he was the guest announcer, that's what he was there for all along. Scoop slam by Yokozuna. Bret tries to drop kick it and punches to get the champion down, but fails. Bret is then still limping from the Owen Hart match earlier. Fantastic dedication to the craft, Bret. Bret is then pushed into the ropes. Piper isn't really looking as he gets Cornette to shut up. Yokozuna misses the big splash. Bret hits the right hands, but Yokozuna hits the headbutt and falls over. Bret punches and hammers at Yokozuna, getting him down. Pinning for 2 as Cornette pulls Piper out of the ring. Piper then whacks Cornette to the ground. Massive leg drop by Yokozuna onto Hart. Yokozuna then throws Hart out of the ring, but Hart quickly gets back in. He's not showing too much exhaustion. Yokozuna misses the banzai splash as Hart hits a bulldog from the top rope. Covers for 2. Flying elbow covers for 2 again. Clothesline knocks Yokozuna down. 1, 2, but the Japanese Hawaiian behemoth kicks out. No, not Hawaiian. Hawaiian Samoan. Samoan. Yes, Samoan, that's it. Yeah, Japanese Samoan. It's a gimmick versus reality, people. The champ is kicked out. The match, I'll tell you now, it took long enough because, again, Yokozuna had the vice grip on. It was boring as shit until that point. The match has finally livened up. Yokozuna counters a splash by Hart with a swinging slide slam. Yokozuna gets ready for the banzai drop. He loses his balance, falls off the ropes. And that's it, because Bret covered for the 3. He's the new WWF champion, with all the face and even Owen celebrating the win to close the show. Almost felt like a replica of the match earlier, really. It was boring. It was the vice hold again. Neck vice hold of doom. It sped up towards the end and got slightly exciting. The finish, in my opinion, was a botch. Then again, I don't think Bret wasn't really meant to get the cleanest win imaginable, so I can understand if it wasn't a botch. You see what I mean? I was starting to fall asleep by the time the match reached its end, and even with the hot rod in there, as well as Bret, it didn't make me want to sit up and pay attention, which, again, shows why Yokozuna shouldn't have been in main events. For the end rally alone, I'll be nice. I'll give it 1/4 of a star. Yay, 1/4 of a star, yeah! It's not really worth smiling about, is it, folks? Right. Now on to my closing thoughts. A Wrestlemania that is hyped up by many to be one of the greats, in my honest opinion, couldn't be more wrong. God, another case of when nostalgia rides over the product to shy away from just how crap it was. There may have been 2 great matches on the card, people, and also some great commentary, and also Burt Reynolds. But apart from that, This pay-per-view is littered with shit. In fact, none of the matches, apart from those 2, got above a star. None of them. And that's fucking disappointing. It offered nothing, barely. That also got combined with a Clinton impersonator, which made it reek of shit. Some people think the WrestleManias of the last couple of years were bad. This was abominable. No wonder the World Wrestling Federation was going down at this point. Because when their biggest pay-per-view of the year, the 10th anniversary of what began the entire sports entertainment empire, you don't want to be faced with horse shit like this. And this was bullshit, people. Honestly, at the time, people who watched this at the time, you're going to hate me for this. But honestly, this is my critique of the event as a whole based on what occurred in the ring. And I will give this event, even with re-rating the Savage match to a half a star, I will give this the rating I gave it before. 1 out of 10. And if it wasn't for those 2 good matches, and Burt Reynolds, and the commentary, this would have been basically a blue flat 0. I'm doing a video now.
Okay, I'm going to
right, so yeah, 1 out of 10. If it wasn't for those good things, I would have given this basically a 0.5 or even a 0 out of 10. I've never given a pay-per-view that before. Never. Never given it. Never. So, this is probably the closest I'm ever going to get. And I was being nice for some of the match reviews, so don't really worry if they weren't that good for your liking. If you don't like this, go ahead. If you rip on me for hating it one of the best WrestleManias of all time, in your opinion, you can do that. You can comment down there in that section down there. It's your opinion. But the fact is, again, I see people complaining and throwing shit about today's product. I watched this and I was bored for the most part. I was falling asleep. And I tried to keep my attention going in this. I tried. But it was to no avail. So next time I see a greatest of WrestleManias of all time list, and I see this in the top 5, I'm going to really question someone's integrity. Because either unless you watched it at the time, or you have no idea how abominable this event is. I'll end it there, guys. 37 minutes later, hurrah! Hope you guys enjoyed that review, and Largest 85, I apologise if this review has offended you, but then again, comment section, got the review now, no problems. Right, I will end it there, folks, because it's been a long day for me. I'll be back with my Q&A in 2 days' time. You've only got a little while to wait, so if you haven't put your questions in, and you probably know who you are by now, just comment them down there in the comment section, or send me a message. It'll probably be better if you send me the message. And also, get me on Skype anywhere. You can like my Facebook page. All the stuff will be down there in the comment section. Not comment section, in the description box. Yeah! If you haven't already, and you want to see more videos from me, guaranteeing the Q&A in your feed, click that subscribe button up there, people. I appreciate the support. Especially after the last vid I've done, I'm really impressed with how you guys have accepted my opinions on the Benoit matter, and generally how you want to see my best of wrestlers of all time list. I'm not going to get started really properly until the start of next week. So I'm still going through criteria, just trying to see if Edge can be put on the list, Booker T can be put on the list, Arn Anderson even. I'm just looking through to see if some other guys can be put on this list. Anything's possible. Right, I've been Cream Crazy. You've been people watching. And this has been my WrestleMania 10 Friday Flashback review. Remember, if you want me to review a past review for a Friday Flashback, send me a message and I will see if I have it in my collection. If I don't, then just ask me another one until I have it and I'll do it for you. How about that? This is the one thing I'll probably say, give me what you want, give me what you want, and I will do my best to oblige. And I will see you on Sunday for my June Q&A. See ya. Have a good weekend, folks. We're all gonna need it.